Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Cucuzzella, Director of the Natural Running Center and owner of Two Rivers Treads in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. Our goal is to improve your running economy and reduce impact and injury. What is running economy? Essentially, this is the amount of energy used to run a certain speed. By moving in a more efficient pattern, we move faster with less effort. We can improve running economy by running more, but only up to a point. 60 to 80% of runners get hurt every year, and many suffer the effects of overtraining and fatigue. If we can improve our movement, we reduce the risk of injury and recover better from every run. So what are the simple principles of running economy? The first principle is understanding and optimizing the elastic component of running. With efficient running, energy is stored in the tendons and returned to forward motion with every stride. Think of this as a spring or strong rubber band. As long as the spring is stiff and strong, the more it is loaded, the more energy returned. The spring attenuates shock also, as well as reduces the muscular work of running. Think about jumping rope or watching an animal hop in nature. Let's look at the gait cycle. When the foot hits the ground, the glutes, quads, and abdominals activate to support and stabilize the hips, spine, and pelvis. It is critical that this action happen quickly and with strength. The posture is tall. The Achilles, plantar fascia, and calf load elastically as the hips extend rearward, also loading elastically. When the hip is fully extended, the knee reflexively drives forward. The faster runner will facilitate this action with an active knee drive forward to complement the recoil. Once the knee is moving forward, just let it go. The momentum of the knee recoil causes the lower leg to fold under the thigh, shortening the lever. The foot is not picked up by lifting the heel with the hamstring. The hamstring activates to control the forward moving foot, and when stretched, will activate the downward drive by the glutes. Next is the critical part of the running stride. When the foot is extended in front of the knee, the runner must activate the glutes to bring the foot down under the center of mass, thus effectively loading the spring in the proper vector. The more powerful the downward force, the better the elastic return. This is free energy. The body has a slight forward lean to maintain the proper line of force, but one must be mobile in the ankle and hips to achieve the proper lean. Do not bend from the waist. We have natural muscle tendon elastic recoil frequency, and this is about 180 steps a minute. This is the same frequency you will see in children while skipping rope, and this facilitates the elastic recoil. 50% of energy is stored and reloaded if the cadence is optimal. Try running in place with a slow, sticky cadence and with a quicker, springier cadence. What is less work? What is more important than what part of your foot hits the ground first is whether you are loading elastically in the right position. Your foot should land close to under the center of mass. Your foot should not be reaching out. Try for a shorter ground contact time. Do not push when the foot is loaded. Just load and spring. Our arms and hands counterbalance the trunk rotation. Elbows are at 90 degrees or less, and hands move in a circular motion. There is a rearward pull as if you are chopping wood. The arms recoil forward, and the shoulders rotate slightly. Stride length is shorter on uphill, longer on the downhill. Let's see what happens at slower and faster paces. Notice the cadence remains the same. At faster speed, the stride angle opens as more force is applied to the ground. Essential range of motion in the ankles and hips allows the fast pop off the ground in the right vector. From the back view, we see an aligned pelvis and leg and minimal crossover in the legs. The foot lands under the hip, and with a strong hip and core, the pelvis remains supported. So let's review the essential features of natural running. Run tall with a proper posture. We say you can't fire a cannon from a canoe, so the inner core must be strong and stable. Planks, bridges, and a shoe with more proprioception optimize this. One must have adequate hip mobility to achieve hip extension and an improved stride angle. The glutes must be active and strong. We recoil off the ground by applying a force to the ground. The glutes are the fatigue and injury-resistant primary movers in humans. In a sitting world, these muscles are often left asleep when we walk and run. Now let's look at a few patterns which could be improved. Notice the feet landing well in front of the knee, the dorsiflexed foot, the lack of hip extension, and the short stride angles. In this pattern, which we call prancing, notice that the foot is loading well in front of the center of mass. This uses a lot of energy and is not elastic. The head forward pattern is inefficient as balance and spring are compromised, and one tends to bend at the waist, so losing energy from an unstable core. The backseat runner is not using the force vector forward, has little to no hip extension, and leaks energy from an unstable core. The purpose of drills is to reinforce the proper movement patterns, not to build fitness. In almost every activity we do, there is a focus on drills to improve technique. Running is no different. A nice safe drill to feel the activation of the glutes, cadence, and foot placement is running with a tether and trying to run away from a mini tramp or the ground. Try using your hamstrings to pull you or hip flexors to lift you as you do this drill. You'll find it inefficient and difficult. Progress to pulling a tire or a sled if you wish to enhance the drill. The razor scooter is fun and is a great practice for foot placement and getting the foot to the ground in the right vector, as well as extending your hip. Try doing this in the heel strike pattern. It does not work. Running with a jump rope is also an amazingly simple drill for posture, balance, and rhythm. It is very difficult to overstride while doing this. Now let's learn to run. Get yourself tall, run in place with an elastic rhythm. It's more work if you slow the steps. Now pretend like you are going to give someone a kiss. Change the force vector and you move forward. Thanks for watching, and please go to our website for more on natural running.